Listen to how this conversation shifts from Myles Straw being a clubhouse glue guy to a much bigger question about winning teams. The real debate is whether last year's Blue Jays magic can survive once expectations replace the underdog story.
You put a couple bad defenders and corner outfielders outfield spots around a not great defensive team, your defense can become a bit of a problem.
Speaking of good defensive outfielders, how's Myles Straw doing? I love that guy. Astros fans
He's
love that
doing
guy
great.
too. Astros fans
I
love that
think
guy
Jays
too.
fans love him. Yeah, I think the Jays fans love him for probably the same reasons. He's just like a scrappy, constant underdog story who is surprisingly like the life of the clubhouse. You go into the Blue Jays clubhouse, and he is like the link between the other 25 guys there. I'll tell one story. I walked into the clubhouse late last year in Pittsburgh, and Davis Schneider had just won Player of the Week, and he was doing one of those like on field like interviews where they're showing it on the TV in the clubhouse. It's like in real time. All of them are looking up at it, laughing. Myles Straw just runs out of the clubhouse. We're like, oh, what's he gonna do? He's gonna go like give bunny ears behind him on or whatever. All we see is just a cloud of baby powder come out of nowhere and just hit Davis Schneider. And then it was on a bit of a delay. So both these guys come walking back into the clubhouse, and Straw's just got like the biggest grin on his face. And that's just like who Myles Straw is for this team, on top of playing pretty good defense, on top of hitting right handed pitching better than I think a lot of people thought he would this year. And just, I don't think the Jays knew that this is the guy they were getting when they took him to try to sign Roki Sasaki, but he's become like a low key staple for this team.
It was interesting, like watching the Blue Jays run last year. Like they had, like you mentioned, Miles there. Like Joey Loperfido seems like he was one of these guys too. It just seemed like they had a lot of kind of glue guys in there, just guys that maybe didn't play much in the playoffs, guys that would see time or maybe just weren't even on the roster. But it seemed like from reading your coverage and just from seeing the team from afar, this is going to sound very cliche, but it just looked like they liked being around each other. It looked like a team that really enjoyed one another. And I think that goes a longer way than maybe a lot of fans understand. And I think, you can probably speak to it better than I, but I mean, Joey Loperfido's here now. He's got that same kind of role here where he's just a guy that everyone really likes. He's kind of a magnet in the clubhouse. A lot of people kind of gravitate toward him as just a really good glue guy. But it seemed like the Blue Jays had that in spades last year. Is it hard for them to kind of keep that intact from season to season? Because every team has a different identity. Every team has different things that they go through. Is that hard for them to keep that intact from one season to the other?
Yeah, it's been, at least from the hour a day I'm in the clubhouse, like a pretty real struggle. It's not like they went from like loving each other to hating each other, but I think it's like last year the team almost got like addicted to this collective drug where they're like coming back every single day. Like it felt like they were unbeatable. No one expected them to even make the playoffs, and then wow, we're in like the American League Championship Series. Oh my god, we're winning it in Game 7. Like everything went right. And you're right. I think last year it almost felt cliche at times covering the team because you're writing about how much these guys love each other. And it got to a point where it's like these guys like aren't blowing smoke up my ass. Like they actually really like each other and are actually like hanging out every single day before and after the games. Like they're not just coming and playing a baseball game. This is real. And then you come into a new season, and not only do you lose a guy like Chris Bassett, who was a big part of that, Joey, who was a big part of that, but also now you have the pressure of what you established last year. And no one has said this to me, but I do wonder if deep down some of these guys feel like, oh, this isn't as much fun as last year. Oh, this doesn't quite feel the same as last year. Like I still like my teammates. We're still friends. We're still winning games sometimes, but it's not the feeling we had last year. And I don't know, you got to go on quite the run to match that feeling. You got to really have a good vibe in the clubhouse to match that feeling. If they're chasing it all year, it could be the demise of this team.
And I think that's what makes the Astros run the past like 8 or 9 years so incredible, is that they just they kept doing this year after year with a different, and some guys stayed the same, right? Altuve's been here the whole time. Bregman was here for most of it. Correa was here for a good portion of it. But as the faces kept changing, like the culture stayed the same, and they were able to welcome anyone and everyone in there into that clubhouse. And it's something that is not easily quantifiable, and it's something that's not easily like described either. Because like you said, we're in there for an hour a day, maybe 4 or 5 times a week. Like, I mean, I've covered this team for 8 years, and I still don't think I can articulate well kind of what makes it such a welcoming environment, like what makes them able to keep doing this year over year. But as you just said, it's not easy. And the Astros have made it look easy for the last 9 years. And I think that's something that needs to be appreciated more, to be honest with you. I think Astros fans appreciate it. Some of them do. Nationally, not sure it's appreciated much. I understand why. Totally get it. We're not going to relitigate that here because I'm quite frankly tired of it. But look, I think what they have done and their ability to replicate year after year, being able to stick together, being able to do it despite who they've lost in free agency, despite who they've traded, despite anything that's going on, it's something that is commendable and something that really puts them in a rarefied air, in a place that not a lot of franchises have really ever been in. And it's something that I think the Blue Jays, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think they may be learning it maybe a little bit the hard way.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think they tried to kind of pour money on the situation and like sign just like truly elite players who were going to offset some of the statistical like downturns of some of the players after last year. But yeah, you can't pour money at like a clubhouse thing. And I'm not saying that the Jays have a bad clubhouse. It's just like when you establish such a high, it's so hard to get back to there. And I look at a team like this year's Washington Nationals, and it's kind of easy to have like those great vibes when you're the team who's like, yeah, we're proving the world wrong. And that was the Jays last year. Them and the Brewers were kind of, every national reporter was flocking to these teams to try to explain the phenomenon that was happening in these cities. And it feels really good for a team to be like, wow, look, we shocked everyone. Then the next year, and maybe the Nationals will have to deal with this next year, when everyone just expects you to do it again, like there is no us against them. There is no there's no person to go up against. There's no reporters to flock in to explain what you're doing. You're just expected to go out there and do it again. All right, I'm going to do a bit of a different Bet365 deep dive this week for our Bet365 segment. It's only me, so I can talk about the minor league side of the Toronto Blue Jays system. There's a guy I want to highlight by the name of Sean Keyes. The Jays have had a couple breakouts across the system this year. I think guys like Nolan Perry, I think a guy like Johnny King, I don't know if I can consider him a breakout, but he's having another really good year. But Sean Keyes, along with a bunch of other guys that started in AA, has been mashing this year. He recently got called up a couple weeks ago to AAA after hitting 285 with a 410 OBP and a 993 OPS in AA. Guess what he's doing through 14 games in AAA? Hitting 298 with a 421 on-base percentage and a 1.102 OPS. It's a left-handed first baseman type. I believe he's
Can
played.
a team rebuild clubhouse chemistry after a dream season, or does chasing last year's vibe become the problem? Leave your take in the comments and like and subscribe for more clips like this.